Today it's the seventh and final principle in our series, the principle of gender.
Enter a world of enchantment, of enlightenment, Meg's magical mansion.
Come, whoever you are, to Meg's magical mansion.
A virtual guest house for the spiritual wayfarer.
A place where the ordinary becomes magical.
Where wisdom is yours for the asking.
And where your higher nature is just a wish away. Thanks for joining us here today at the Magical Mansion. I'm Meg, here with my fluffy assistant, Miss Alice Poopers. And of course, we're joined by the scrumptious Miss Parfait.
Charmed. And today is the final episode in our series on the 7 Hermetic Principles.
I know, can you believe it? It's been a lot of deep diving and heavy mental lifting.
And you know what? That's just the way we like it, isn't it?
Absolutely. And today we are tackling the final principle, the principle of gender.
Oh, that's one of my favorite principles. And, I just have a feeling that this somehow is really going to speak to me.
You think?
Yeah, I do. Anyway, this principle states that there is gender in everything.
And everything has its masculine and feminine properties.
Gender manifests on all planes, I know it certainly manifests on all my planes.
Well, we're also going to be talking about mental gender. We all have masculine and feminine attributes to our thinking, regardless of the gender of the physical body we happen to be living in currently. So we're also going to explore how the thinking about gender influences what we do and how we can use the principle of polarity to slide between masculine and feminine energies to make whatever happen that we want, get the outcome we desire.
And come on, I know what you're all thinking right now. You're thinking either you're butch or femme. But you really have to think again. We have aspects of both in all of our personalities. Sometimes you might want to, for example, access those feminine energies to maybe help you be more creative or maybe be more expressive or giving.
And you can always tap into your masculine energies when you need to move the energy around, make things happen, get stuff done, TCB, take care of business, get her done. Masculine energy can help you do that. So you can utilize the principle of gender to make the things you want to happen.
Wow, I can't wait to learn more.
The seventh and final of the great Hermetic Principles is the principle of gender. This principle tells us that gender is manifest in everything. Masculine and feminine properties are present and active in all the various phases and phenomenon on every plane of existence. Important disclaimer here, guys. Gender and sex are not the same thing. The Kabbalion tells us that the word gender is derived from the Latin root meaning to procreate, to beget, to create, to produce. So what we're talking about here are the attributes of feminine and masculine energies, which actually have nothing to do with the biological sex of the physical body you are currently inhabiting. Just to be clear there, I'm not talking about the parts in your pants. Sex, whether your physical body has male or female parts, is just the manifestation of gender here on this physical plane. But the purpose of gender is to create, produce, generate, and it manifests on all planes. The Hermetic Masters taught that the masculine energies are associated with the positive magnetic pole, while the female energies are aligned with the negative pole. And again, don't get your knickers in a twist. That does not mean that masculine energies are better than female energies and that female energies are somehow bad. So try to remove your emotional ties to the words positive and negative from your mind and think of them in the strictest terms of opposite magnetic poles. Just strip out your feelings about the other meanings of those words because we're not dealing with those meanings here. The negative pole on a battery is the one that produces energy. Some call this the cathode pole, and it is the mother principle of the electrical phenomenon, to quote the Kabbalion. The masculine energies direct their energies towards the feminine energies and thus begin the creative process. Masculine and feminine energies cannot operate without each other. You need both. In the animal kingdom, we see some amazing examples of life forms that have both male and female characteristics. We see species like the clownfish, who start out with all males, but can change sex as needed to create new offspring. But getting back to the idea of magnetic poles that either attract or repulse, that all sounds like masculine, feminine energy at play to me, There's a lot of physical phenomenon out there that we don't think of as being related to gender until we take a close look and see the qualities of gender at play at everything in our universe. But what really fascinates me about this principle is the idea of mental gender. We all have masculine and feminine attributes to our thinking. How we utilize those attributes can have a great impact on our lives. We all have two minds, two hemispheres, your objective and subjective minds, our conscious and unconscious minds, voluntary and involuntary mind, active and passive minds. There is definitely a duality to our brains. And the principle of gender is totally at play here. Our masculine mind is objective, conscious, voluntary, and active, while our feminine mind is the subjective, subconscious, involuntary, passive mind. The Hermetic Masters bid us to turn inward and truly grasp this principle. Look at the self that lives inside of you. Just be there with yourself and say, I am. But I am may be divided into two parts that while they work together may also be separated. We see the I right away, but as when we look really closer, we notice that there is also me. To quote the Kabbalion, these mental twins differ in their nature, as the phenomenon arising from the same will throw much light upon many of the problems of mental influence. So, who is this me that lives inside of each of us? Is it how we feel, our tastes and preferences, our habits, emotional ties, all the things we think of as the ingredients of our distinct personality? Because, we know our feelings are going to change, our likes and dislikes as well. Hey, we can form new habits and emotional ties and sever old ones. So are those the things that truly make us who we are? The principle of rhythm and the principle of polarity tell us that these changes are normal and that we should expect them. So maybe our inner me is the sum of all our knowledge, all gathered up in our mind, forming the me. But really for many, the concept of me is tied up with their outward physical appearance. You've heard the term like being clothes conscious. Do the clothes make the person? Does your muscle tone and fitness level define who you are? Many of us seem to think that they do. It's hard to imagine a self, a me, that is not attached to your body. Even though I keep telling y'all that this body is just your latest vehicle you get to ride around in, it's not really you. But many people think their mind belongs to their body rather than the other way around. Most people don't even want to know about or accept their deeper mental states. They just don't give it too much thought. But we find that when our bodies change and alters, the me is still there. And listen, at my age, which is not young, I have seen my body change drastically, growing, maturing, now decaying and declining, and I definitely feel it physically, but my spirit inside, my me, is still there. I don't really feel my physical age in my mind at all. The me inside of all of us is special. We can change our bodies, we can change our feelings, we can change our learning, we can change all the things we think of as making up the me, and yet the me is still there. Realizing that your feelings, knowledge, physical body, and all that other stuff are not what make up the me is very powerful. And what's left after you strip away all that stuff is the I and the me together. Like super twins, they combine their powers with The me bringing the powers of creativity, ideas, and emotions, a mental womb that can generate thoughts, feelings, and other mental states. But the me needs energy to create. This is where the I comes in. The I gives us the mental will to make the me act along certain creative lines. The I also acts as a witness to the creations of the me. The I projects the energy needed to make the thoughts of the me come to life, and then also bears witness to them when these ideas come to fruition. This dual aspect is inside every person. Whether you are male, female, or non-binary, you have both feminine and masculine attributes. You have a me that is creative, feeling, intuitive, brimming over with ideas. You have an I that has the power to take care of business, make those dreams take shape here in the 3D. The I can move the energy to make stuff happen. And if you understand how this principle works here in the 3D, you can use the principle of correspondence to know that it works this way on every plane, just in a different degree. All this can give you the ability to access some amazing ways to manifest here on this plane. Remember, the me or the feminine energy is always receiving impressions, while the I or the masculine energy is always giving out or expressing. The feminine field of operation is much more varied than the masculine field. The feminine energy is that of pure imagination. The masculine energy provides the will to make things happen. Otherwise, our heads would just be up in the clouds all the time. It's important to remember that it's easy to get caught up in your me and forget that without the energy of the I, nothing will happen. You'll have a great idea, and that's all it will be. It's critical for your success in this life that you balance and utilize these energies at will. Use the principle of polarity to slide effortlessly between your feminine and masculine energies, because many of us get too lazy to get our masculine energies going. We're content to float along through life, be controlled by the thoughts and feelings of others whose masculine energies overwhelm ours. So try not to get too bogged down in your me consciousness. Make sure you are power boosting your ideas, feelings, and thoughts with the power of your I. The strong people of the world manifest the masculine principle of will. They dominate their own minds and utilize their feminine energy to generate ideas and their masculine energy to bring those ideas to fruition. They then manage to plant their ideas like seeds into the minds of others, causing others to think in accordance with them. This is why people can behave in such sheep-like ways, never actually coming up with their own ideas or thoughts. When an actor makes you cry, when you actually believe what a politician is saying, when you have just gotta have that new fashion trend, you have been influenced by the will of others. People who are able to exert great influence over others are masters of the principle of gender. The power of suggestion is very real, and we are all subject to it. These people can generate the next great trend with their feminine me energy, power up their ideas with their masculine I energy, and then before you know it, everyone is doing it or saying it or watching it or whatever. So by using mental gender, we can bring order out of chaos. We can take our wildest, craziest dreams and turn them into reality. But you must utilize the dual nature of your mind to accomplish this, and allow yourself the freedom to slide effortlessly from your feminine nature to your masculine at will. And hey, don't be lazy. I'm a mom, I can say that. When your feminine nature gives you a really wonderful ideas or thoughts or concepts, whatever, get your masculine butt in gear and go out and make it happen. You can be the influencer rather than the influenced. You can be the trendsetter, idea person, creative genius, but only if you use your masculine energy, your force of will, to take care of business and make it a reality.
And there you have it, the principle of gender. You know, I never really realized how much I naturally just embody this principle.
You certainly do, Parfait. But you know, we can all use this principle to help us be more balanced. We can call on whichever energies we need for the current situation.
You use those masculine energies to really access your free will, to make things happen, and to really utilize that power that you have. Masculine energies really help you to flex your muscles to make things happen. They're dominant left brain kind of stuff.
Yeah, and then bring on that feminine energy if you need to be creative or nurturing or caring or giving. When you want to have that expressive energy, you know, it's all that kind of right brain stuff that we think about.
And when you're not afraid to use both those masculine and feminine energies as you need to, you can access a lot of personal power.
Well-balanced people have come to terms with both sides of their nature, and they can consciously access either or both with great ease, which allows them to get the most out of every situation.
I love knowing that it's okay for me to both enjoy being the happy homemaker and also equally be comfortable being a bad boss bitch lady who sometimes has to take out the trash and really do things that make things happen. You know, I love the duality and the fluidity of that because that's just me.
Well, you really are a perfect spokesperson for this principle, Parfait.
Well, thank you. I try.
And remember, in the words of Buddha, 1,000 candles can be lit from a single candle.
And the life of the candle will not be shortened.
Happiness never decreases by being shared.
So thank you for sharing your time and attention here with us at Meg's Magical Mansion.
Till next time.
Toodles!